Enjoy the holiday season with the Alolan Festivities design, available on shirts, hoodies, mugs even. You can get one for yourself to wrap up nice and warm, or one for a present for a friend. Links to where you can get your own are in the description below. Hey Pokemon Masters, Birdkeepertoby here, and welcome to the last Sun and Moon video of this week. Happy Sun and Moon week. I hope you had a fantastic time playing through the games. I know I have, and traveling with the new Pokemon and discovering who I would use. I want to know who your team is in the comments. And actually, when you leave a comment or leave a like as well, it acts as an entry towards a competition for winning a copy of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and this video is the last video where that competition is running. Of course, if you're seeing this before my next video goes up, then you're more than welcome to go back to any of my videos titled Sun and Moon and leave likes, leave comments. There's a whole playlist. And those will all act as entries, and 2 of you are going to win a copy, so that's cool. And I would like to suggest you some Pokemon that you could use on your adventure. Pokemon I used on my adventure and I have some very personal relationships with. So here goes. My Pokemon Sun and Moon team. First up, Decidueye. We all have a starter Pokemon, and mine in this adventure was Rowlet. I've known that I was going to pick Rowlet pretty much since the day it was announced. It's been part of my banner for ages. Plus, it was a flying type, what could I say? I'm Birdkeepertoby. But one of the things I love about Pokemon is I can spend months and months looking at the images of Pokemon on Cerebi and taking them all in and going, okay, these are the Pokemon that I want to use on my perfect team. And Decidueye was for sure definitely the coolest Alola final starter. But actually being in the game and seeing it in battle, I discovered that I didn't like the design of the model as much. That's not to say I didn't like it, I have some great memories with it. And we are only just beginning our adventures together, and Rowlet is so adorable when you pick it up at the beginning of the game. But I'm just saying I was happy I could surprise myself. And I love its move Spirit Shackle. I love the idea of it having this big ghostly, shackly whip and bringing down Pokemon and making sure they don't leave the battle. I think that's awesome. The next Pokemon I caught on my team was a Grubbin that eventually evolved into a Vikavolt. My main story and memory to do with this Pokemon is I had no idea what level it was going to evolve because no one had made the guides yet. The information was not yet on the internet. And I suspected that with a bug type Pokemon, maybe it would evolve into Charjabug at like level 10 and then, it'd probably be done fully evolving by level 20. Grubbin evolved into Charjabug at like level 25 and I thought, okay, level 35 then, surely it's gotta be evolved by then. And by the time we got to 35 and then 45, I was looking into, does it need a Thunderstone? Is there a special method of evolution? I believe it was around about 47, and I might have been wrong in saying that. But eventually it evolved into Vikavolt, and Vikavolt is so cool. I love that it can know both U-turn and Volt Switch, as well as just having an array of cool moves. This Pokemon looks awesome and is awesome. The third Pokemon on my team was the Pokemon that surprised me the most. A Pokemon I didn't even think I was going to use because I looked at it and I went, that's stupid. And that's Stuffle. Stuffle is possibly one of my new favorite Pokemon. I don't know how I feel about it in comparison to like Snorlax, who is my favorite Pokemon of all time. And I did love the idea that they were introducing new bear Pokemon because I like the bear Pokemon, like Snorlax. But the thing that got me about Stuffle is I didn't like the tag on the back of it, and I still kind of don't. But the thing that got me about it was when in-game interacting with its overworld sprite and hearing its cry. It has the most adorable cry. I just want one. I want one as a pet in the real world. I think it's absolutely adorable and it made a great addition to my team. I was actually sort of sad to evolve it. In a way, I think I prefer Stuffle's design now to Bewear's. But Beware did have its own moment in the sunlight, and that was in one of the big battles of the game, not to spoil anything. I was up against a Snorlax, my current favourite Pokemon, and the Pokemon that took it out was Beware. Potentially, Stuffle is one of my new favourite Pokemon, and it just felt really symbolic that I was taking down a Snorlax with it. Number 4 on my team is Wimpod. Now, Wimpod is again another one that surprised me in a different kind of way. Wimpod was the one I knew I was going to use. I thought it had the coolest design, and it does. But when I caught it, it was such a low level that I did sort of feel like I was carrying it through my team the whole way, and when it evolved, I didn't have that much of a bond with it. Because it hadn't been in battle, it was just hanging back using the EXP share. I do love Wimpod and I do love its evolution, but I gotta say I find it as kind of a quirky Pokemon. I like how its effect, its ability, is sometimes useful and sometimes very much detrimental. For example, when in battle and I needed a Pokemon to switch into that could, hold its own for a little bit while I heal up another Pokemon, this Pokemon was perfect to swap into. Because if my Pokemon died, I'd send it out, spend the turn using a revive, and they'd hit it with something. and that move would likely take it down below half health, meaning I could immediately swap back out into the newly revived Pokemon. That said, when trying to capture other legendary Pokemon and trying to catch rare Pokemon, it's not a good Pokemon to have in your team, because if it gets chipped down to under half health, it flees. It removes you from the battle, potentially undoing a lot of your hard work. Number 5 was Lycanroc, midday form on Pokemon Moon. That's right, it turns out you can get the daytime form in Pokemon Moon in the wild, which I found really interesting. I was actually struggling with the game a bit, so my friend PD Whittle decided to help me out and trade me his Lycanroc. It was only about 5 or 10 levels higher than the Pokemon on my team, but it actually served as a very critical member for over half the game. It did feel a bit odd being traded a Pokemon that I hadn't evolved from a Rockruff myself. I don't really like catching already evolved Pokemon, I prefer to have them from their base stage and evolve them upwards, but it served as I say, just such a critical part of the team. Its Rock Slide was unstoppable and it looked really cool, and I'm really happy that I got to use it in my Pokemon Moon adventure. And in fact, now I'm thinking about using one competitively. At number 6, Lunala. That's right, a legendary Pokemon on my team, which is something I don't normally do. However, and I'm not going to spoil the game for any of you who haven't seen it yet, you form such a bond with Lunala in the game, just after certain revelations are made, that it became it already felt like it was part of my team. And personally, how the story all intertwines with the character of Lily, a character who just made this game incredible, I felt that there was no way I couldn't have Lunala on my team, and it's gonna be a crucial member for the rest of my playthrough. So there we go, my team of Alolan Pokemon. As I say, let me know yours in the comments. Also, don't forget my Alolan Festivities shirt with my Alolan Executor and my Vulpix and Sandshrew, they are on sale. You can get them as shirts, hoodies, crewneck sweatshirts, mugs even, all as either a present for yourself while you play Sun and Moon, keep yourself warm, or as a gift for a friend. So hi, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeepertoby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.